Linda's Pantry. So today I'm gonna do a special dinner for my husband. He's coming home for the weekend and I have a big day at work, so I'm not gonna have time to cook a big meal. But I thought, you know what, I'm gonna utilize the crock pot. I'm gonna prep this ahead tonight so I don't have to think about it in the morning. All I have to do is put that sleeve in the crock pot and go. Set it and forget it, and we'll have a delicious dinner when I get home and when he gets home. So if that inspires you to stay with me, and I hope it does, we're gonna do braised, let me back up. Onion jam braised lamb shanks. And if that doesn't sound fantastic, I don't know what does. It's gonna be delicious. Sweet goes so well with lamb, and that sweet onion jam is just perfect with the balsamic vinegar and the sugar, and delicious. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna have mashed potatoes and a big salad. It'll be fabulous. So everything's gonna get prepped today, and we'll finish it off tomorrow. So if this inspires you to stay with me, I hope it does. Go down in that About section, hit like on the way down if you like this video, and go check out all the links I've left for you. My Facebook page, my Wild Tree website, and you know what? The first comment will link some videos to that might be something you'd like to watch, so you can go check those out when you're done with this video. If you're not a subscriber, go hit subscribe. Come on, let's go make some delicious lamb shanks in the crock pot. No, though, you could do these in the oven. Come on. Okay, so this is the night before I'm gonna do this crock pot meal. And I had to go buy a crock pot because my husband has two of ours up there, and I just had the little tiny 2-quart one here. And so I wanted another 4-quart pot, which would have been perfect, but they didn't have one in an oval shape, so I got this big 7-quart, which will be fine. It'll be great when we have guests over or have a party, so I'm okay with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the crock, and then I can put that in my refrigerator to, overnight. And I'm going to layer this. I'm not going to brown the shanks first. Normally I brown them and all that, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm actually adding some other flavors that I think will compensate for that. I've got 1.5 pounds of cremini mushrooms, and it looks like a pile, but they're all going to break down into this little bit during the cooking process. I have 1 yellow onion that I've sliced a little over 1/4 inch thick. Even though we're using, look at that, my sweet onion jam, I'm going to have a pint of that in there. I've got 5 cloves of garlic minced up, and I'm going to have a bundle of parsley in there as well. So I don't have room to chop that up right now, but I will. We've got some wine and some chicken stock. And we'll see where we're at liquid-wise, because this is going to release a lot of water, and so are the onions. So, okay. Anyways, we're going to start this process. I'm going to put down my onions first. And normally in crock pot cooking, you want to do onions or any kind of vegetable at the bottom and keep the meat at the top. It just works out better that way. And the onions are going to break down completely. It's going to give a different flavor than the onion jam, and it just works. So then we're going to layer on the mushrooms. And it's probably a good thing that I got a big crock pot, because it needs to fit in there for tonight anyway until it starts cooking. You could saute your mushrooms first, but I just don't see a need to do that. And these cremini mushrooms are going to add a huge earthy flavor to this lamb dish. And now, for those of you that are not lamb lovers or have an aversion to eating lamb, I know there's a few out there, you can switch this out for beef shanks. And beef shanks are fabulous. Or deer or elk. I love all of them. All of them. They have my permission to be there. And now I'm going to layer the meat on here. I've got a nice bed, and like I said, these are partially frozen, but they are going to sit in the refrigerator for the night. And this is why, you know what, I'm going to put the steaks down first. This is why I needed that big a crock pot, I guess. They probably wouldn't have worked. So I've got 2 little shoulder steaks, and these are gorgeous. This is a grass-fed organic lamb that we buy. In the spring, we buy a whole lamb every year from a local farmer, and that just fits perfect. Let me give my hands a rinse. And we'll get to seasoning. Yeah, it doesn't have a gamey flavor to me at all. It's just fabulous. So now we're gonna put down our garlic. And you want a fair amount of garlic. If you're not a garlic lover, obviously leave some of it out, but as it cooks, it just gets sweeter, so you're really not gonna have any sharp bite to it. Scatter that about. Get my cutting board out of the way. Another rinse of my hand, and we've got to season this really well because there's a lot going on. So I'm gonna season with salt and pepper. So probably a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of pepper. If you like more, then do more. If you like less, do less. And remember, you're seasoning vegetables as well, so. And some pepper. And we're just gonna do that, go high and sprinkle it down until I feel like I've got about a teaspoon. We love black pepper. Okay, let's get on the pepper. I've got some chicken stock. Now you could use beef stock. That would be fabulous in this as well. I've only got about a cup here. I'm gonna see what I feel like is gonna happen. You don't wanna run your crock pot dry, but it's gonna have the lid on, so it should not lose moisture. And now we're gonna put down our onion jam. I wanna make sure you can see that. So this is a 1/2 pint jar of onion jam that I canned the other day. Actually, this is the second batch. The batch that you saw is already gone. Sold to the highest bidder. No, I sell this at the salon. And this batch, I chopped the onions on a finer dice. I use the small dice on the Vidalia chopper that I use. And it smells amazing. And you don't want to lose any of this. So you want a full pint of this for a big hearty meat dish like this. And it's just going to pair so well with all the rest of this. And I'm giving you this video pretty much in real time because that's how quick and easy this is to get together. And it's going to sit, and it's almost going to marinate overnight if you think about it. Everything's going to kind of start breaking down in the crock. So we've got that, and now I'm going to pour down some red wine. And I've got a Cabernet Sauvignon, which I always braise shanks with. Lamb shanks, beef shanks, doesn't really matter. You want to make sure that you get a wine that you would like to drink. That makes it good. And so I've got about 2 cups here of Cab. My mouth's already watering. It isn't even time to put it on. So, oh well. Okay, so I just want to cover this like that. And I'm gonna think that we have enough moisture. I've got quite a bit there in the crock pot, so I'm gonna go ahead and rinse out one of my pint jars with some water and put that in there, and that should be plenty of liquid to braise this meat, especially when the vegetables all break down. And then I've got a little bit of excess in this jar, but I'm only gonna do about 1/4 of a cup. So there you go. Now I'm gonna top this with some fresh parsley. We'll definitely reserve the rest of our bundle of parsley for the end result, and because this is gonna lend that grassy flavor that we love in a lot of dishes. So see how simple, the seasoning is simple, the process is really easy, and now I've got all the hard work out of the way. The hardest thing I gotta do in the morning is pull it out of the fridge, put it into the heating vessel, and we're good to go. So I'm gonna put the lid on, and all right, so it's about 7:30 in the morning. And I've had this in the fridge covered with saran wrap because the lid would not fit in there. And I'm just going to put this sleeve into the crock vessel here. Sage is cleaning up her dog dish. Thank you. And I'm going to put this on low. And the reason I'm putting it in so early is because everything in here is refrigerator cold. And those shanks were still frozen last night when I put this together. So I want to go ahead and make sure that it's got plenty of time to heat up and all that. And you want it to fall apart, fall off the bone. So we're going to put the lid on. And tonight when I get home from work, we're going to have pretty much dinner. Okay, so this has been on all day, and I could smell this in the garage when I drove in. And I can tell you, oh, it just looks and smells so amazing. And so I know that it's going to be pull apart because I can see bones pulled away, and yeah, just look at how tender that meat is. Oh, delicious. I'm going to pull, and here's those shanks, and see how far that meat's shrunk back on that shank. And you can take your fork and right there just pull it away. And I might have to have a taste test right now. I'm going to make I actually made last night 50-50 sweet potatoes, and I've got, I'm going to make a gravy out of some of this sauce. It's full of mushrooms, and I'm going to have a superfood salad to go alongside, and we'll be good to go. So what I'll probably do is after I get the gravy made and all that, I'll go ahead and bring you back for the last taste test, but I'll give you a taste of this right now. It is so tender, which is perfect. Look at all those mushrooms. And these onions, because you put the onions at the bottom, you think, well, all that heat's going to be at the bottom. But they actually, the sliced onions at the bottom still have some crunch to them. So you have the super soft onions and the onion jam, and then that. And there's a nice piece of meat right there. Okay, so I better get to making gravy before I pick this apart. So I've got everything done. I've got a salad made here, and this is really a blend of Swiss chard, kale, spinach, and I put a creamy Caesar dressing with some fresh tomatoes. I've got my 50-50 sweet potato mash, and I'll do a video on how I do that. Those I like to call them 50-50 sweet potatoes or sunshine potatoes because they remind me of sunshine. And I'm going to grab one of these lamb shanks here and put it right on top, which it's way too much meat here. I think for a second here, I'm going to need to take some of that meat off there. Even though it's going to be pretty, I'll take some of the back end meat off of that because that's just too big. So I'm going to place a lamb shank down over the sweet potatoes. And wow, look at that. And then some of that beautiful sauce that I've thickened and reduced and defatted right over the top of that with the mushrooms. And there you go. That's a beautiful dinner. And that would make a fantastic Valentine's dinner. So, that being said, I'll take a little tuck in a couple different places, and because we're trying to eat on smaller plates. I don't know if it always works, but I'm going to take a little tuck of those potatoes and some of that sauce and see how that flavor profile with the sweet onion jam and the mushrooms. Don't want anybody to know though. And then again, I'm going to sneak a bite of the lamb. And see how far away from the bone that pulled off? It just is fall apart, fork tender, which is exactly what you want. All that connective tissue breaks down and just becomes luscious. Oh my gosh. Yes. It's divine. So I hope it inspires you to try something new. Maybe try this recipe. It was easy to do. I prepped everything the night before, and all I had to do was put together a gravy or a sauce to put over everything and throw together an easy salad. So, but I am going to bring you along for a new salad with this blend. So I hope you come next time and watch what I do, because it's going to be delicious. So I can't wait to see you next time, guys. God bless. I hope if you're not a subscriber, you go ahead and subscribe.